Thank you for joining us on the RP Experience. I'm your host, Andrew Regenhardt, and today we have Nicole Paolini, because I screwed it up, one of our preferred partners within Real Producers. So welcome to the podcast, Nicole.
Thank you.
Of course. Nicole is a preferred partner with Naples Real Producers, and she's with Movement Mortgage. Nicole is born and raised in Western Massachusetts and later moved down to Florida in 2011. Nicole started her mortgage lending career in late 2014, but before working in the industry, she worked for a local advertising company. Eventually, Nicole wanted to find something that was a little bit more flexible and decided to start her career within mortgage. One of her primary reasons for Nicole's success is her commitment to customer service. She takes pride in her availability, with her and communication with clients. Nicole has been with Movement Mortgage for about a year and a half, and Nicole's oldest daughter joined the team after graduating college, making the mortgage lending a family affair. So we're excited to have you, Nicole.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So we're going to talk about Nicole. We're going to talk about lending. We're going to talk about working with your daughter, all that kind of stuff today.
Perfect.
So before we dive into that, can you give, just who were you before lending, and when you're up in Massachusetts and stuff like that? Obviously you want to be down here in sunny Florida, but give us a little bit of Reader's Digest back growing up.
Great, thanks. Most of my adult career and personal life was in New Jersey. So I went to school in Boston. I went to Boston College and moved down to New Jersey and started working for big corporations, Sprint and AT&T. In the Jersey
Did you know my mom
area.
worked for AT&T?
No, I did not.
She was the human resources.
I was in finance and operations.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
and she worked there, but when it was U.S. Cellular.
No, this was I was in the pagoda, so there's a big thing in Basking Ridge for AT&T. It's a big thing if you work there.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I worked there and started having children. My husband's in insurance, and he got bounced around the country a lot. When he became COO, before work from home was a thing, he asked if since he was traveling all over, let me do it remotely from Naples. That's how we got down here. But in New Jersey, again, I was big corporations and doing the thing like that, but I was mainly a mom.
Right.
So I had little kids, but still working at the time, but they were flexible enough to, allow me to be able to fit that in. And then when we came down here, they were in 4th and 6th grade. So my main priority, was always to be the mom.
Right.
But the way that the jobs went, they allowed me to have that flexibility.
That's awesome.
So,
Which is important.
Yeah.
Right? I love it. And 2 kids, 3 kids?
Two
right?
daughters. Elise is on my team, and then I have Julia, or we have Julia, who's a junior.
Yeah, but you're the mom, so it's
sorry.
different.
Yeah. She's a junior at University of Tampa.
Tampa. Okay.
Yeah.
Is she gonna go follow into this?
That I'm not
too?
sure. She's in business management as well, but not sure if that's going to be her path. I don't know. She is loving Tampa. They've had great run between the Bucks and the Lightning and everything.
They're kind of hitting the jackpot in the sports, and I hear Tampa's pretty fun. I haven't done anything there, but
it's super fun. So she's having a great time. So I think our first choice would probably to stay up in the younger city, Tampa area, but we'll see. You never know.
You never know.
Can expand our team up there.
So awesome. And is it Elise, right? I haven't personally met her. I know of her, and you've talked about her and everything like that, but she joined when?
She joined right after college. So she was interning the summer before.
Okay.
And then when she graduated, she got her licensing while she was in college, and then so she was able to hit the ground running.
I love it.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second here, but let's talk about this mortgage stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
It's a hot topic. A lot of people are saying the interest rates are affecting, everything globally, right? So interest rates, if you turn on the news, it's said probably 50 times within an hour, right? Of something, right? It's just a very hot topic that people are talking about. So what have you noticed so far, and what are you currently seeing? And again, disclaimer to everyone that's listening, we do record these. So if you're listening to them right when they come out, they might have changed from our current conversation.
Right.
And so just know that things are evolving on a daily basis. But currently, today's date, January 17th, what's kind of happening right now?
So I mean, it's kind of a loaded question. There's so much that's happened.
Right.
I would say since last July, and when Elise joined, I always explain to people like July 2022 is when the lights went out in Southwest Florida. Like the phone had been ringing off the hook until then, and all of a sudden things took a turn. And she's like, "Why isn't your phone ringing? What just happened?"
Right.
And that's when we
Something down with the cellular towers.
Yeah, exactly. So we rolled up our sleeves, and that's when we got to work.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, we've seen obviously the report just came out that so we have to renew our licenses every year. That 40% of loan officers have not renewed their license. So
Ooh-wee.
so there's 40% of the people in the last 6 months or year. You know, that's the most current measure is that 40% have gotten out of the business. So that tells you that business obviously has slowed down.
But I think it also tells you that those 40% were just sitting there, letting the deals come to them.
Right.
They weren't working,
Right.
you know, and it's
Right.
kind of the same with realtors, right?
Correct.
You know, I think a lot of these realtors are kind of excited in a sense to be like, can we
Yep.
get some of this riffraff out
Yep.
of here, you know?
Yep.
And not to be rude, but like they're not taking it serious like the other
Right.
people.
I call it more of a normalizing of the market versus, you know, having this heyday where you just sat around, you can't wait around for the phone to ring. It's a normalizing of the market. So you're able to discuss financing options. You're able to negotiate. You're able to have that conversation versus, you know, just this frenzy that was like cash deal, like, you know, overnight, 15 offers. Like that's just not normal. You know, it's not normal, sustainable business. And I think we're just back to sustainable. So I think, you know, what we've seen is that, you know, a lot of people just are very fearful. And I think the value that I want to bring is to be educational. I'm devoted to my partners and to give them that education to know 2023, there are better things ahead.
For sure.
I will say, like, if you do stay committed to your business and keep working it, you know, we did not see, with all the efforts that we did, we did not see, we saw a single digit decrease in our volume. So you know, you just keep grinding it. And I think that's showing up and not being fearful and not listening to the noise. Like, you know, fear sells.
Yeah. Warren Buffett says this, and I say this all the time, and I probably say it more than I should, but probably I say it a lot because I started Real Producers in the COVID, and he always said, you know, be fearful when people are greedy and greedy when people are fearful. Right. And so like, this is the time to really like double down and really take that market share as people are evacuating out.
Correct.
Or whatever it might be. So important.
Correct. Yep. You have to, you know, I mean, I've been telling Elise, and, you know, we listen to economists all the time. This is the time where you could do the training, you could be educated, you can share that knowledge. You have to get back to the basics. And I know everybody's been saying it, but you actually have to do it. You have to show up and do it. And
they're going to remember it when the craziness happens. Because look what happened in COVID. You had all this time where you were doing the normal, and then COVID hit, and then it was a frenzy. Well, who did they mostly turn to? It was the relationships they had all that other time when it wasn't crazy, right? So, yeah, it's interesting, but it's good, right? There's always positive no matter what you look at it.
100%.
Always
I think
opportunities.
you always have to do that. You always have to be positive. You always have to, you know, be optimistic.
You got to be willing to change a little bit and adjust. You know,
Correct.
If you're, you know, I'm using the COVID situation because it was so recent and such a big change, but you know, I wasn't planning on doing anything Zoom, and Real Producers and Zoom were like the best friends, right? Like, you know, it's like I had to adapt to it because, you know, people couldn't meet. So
But I think you can add that into your current business. It doesn't have to be all of it right now, but I think it could be like, okay, everybody was so used to it. Like use that tool now, and that doesn't have to be your only tool, which it was during COVID, but it can be a tool. So I agree. Like if you keep doing the same things that you were doing last year, they're not going to work.
Look at businesses that were solely brick and mortar. They're maybe some are 100% virtual, and some are maybe half and half, right? And they're finding that happy medium that fits for a business. So, what do you think currently the biggest challenge is with this market changing for you on your day-to-day operations?
Right. So. Again, being the optimistic person, I call them opportunities.
For sure.
So the biggest opportunities is
learning opportunities. Let's say that.
Yeah. So, you know, listen, there are a lot of folks on the sidelines waiting. the opportunities that I've seen and tried to overcome is you just have to have a process. Make sure your process is solid. Stick to that process. Make outbound calls. It's a numbers game, just like any other sales. Like, it's a numbers game. The other thing that I think is an opportunity is to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. I've got the pleasure of working with some really, really hardworking realtors, and they didn't stop working. And I just thought the energy of just being in their sales meetings and being around them and talking to them, and even if they were having a down day, like, try to keep, build them up as well. So, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, do the trainings that maybe you didn't have time to do before, make the outbound calls to old clients. And, but yeah, I mean, the reality is the business has slowed down, and you have to, get back to the basics.
Yeah. So talking about the basics, when you talk about a process, like, what are some things that people should be expecting from the outside, right? Obviously, you guys have a lot of going on, right, and different things like that make it from a mortgage process standpoint, right? You guys have a lot of things, but from the outsider looking in, what should people kind of expect for the current process and like a timeline?
Meaning for like a pre-approval type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
like the overall mortgage process.
All right. Generally speaking, you're going to possibly be working with a realtor, and they're going to say, you need to get pre-approved. Pre-approved means you've gone through the process of speaking to a lender, having a kind of a financial, I call it a financial consultation, because truly you're going to go over credit, you're going to go over assets, you're going to go over income, and you're really going to be ready to buy.
Oh, it's not just a PDF that they fill in a number?
Well, they can. That's pre-qualification, which doesn't really hold any weight, and people are pretty educated down here.
Yeah.
The good news is
it's kind of used and abused too, right? Like, it's kind of like it's kind of got a bad rep on that. It's like, they need to really have a talk with a professional. Like
right.
yourself.
And I think it goes, it's a benefit to them as well as, to the seller who's buying it. So they know, like, hey, you're legitimate. And I would encourage, the borrowers to make sure that they're getting that pre-approval. And we'll talk about, I think, a little bit later about why using somebody local would probably be beneficial for them. But regardless of whether it's local or not, going through that vetting process and making sure that you're ready to roll when something comes on the market, because inventory is still low.
And it was dipping like a couple of weeks ago. I saw like it dip more.
Well, now we're in season. So folks that are on the sidelines, with all the realtors that I've spoken to and all the research I've been doing and economists I'm listening to, I mean, the housing inventory is still low.
Right.
So
it's supply and demand.
Right. There's not going to be a fire sale here.
No. There's still low supply. There's still high demand. Right. Things are going to move.
That's right. 100%.
So tell me why, you had mentioned the local lender. That's so important.
Right.
But why would someone, I mean, to me, like, I could go to US Bank,
Correct.
right? Or something like that, or I could go to you. What's the big difference?
So I always say there's 5 differences. Hopefully I can remember them all.
They're on the spot.
Okay. So
1, 2.
Your realtor relationships. I mean, we have local realtor relationships. Our kids go to school together. I see them at the grocery store. Like, we have deep relationships with our realtors, and we're not going to let them down, both on the sell side and the buy side. So we're not going to let them down. Our flexibility. I mean, we, generally speaking, having a local lender, we will have more flexibility in terms of timing, being able to close faster, different product sets, knowing the market, knowing condo approvals, et cetera. So we have a little bit more flexibility.
Maneuverability too.
Maneuverability, right. So
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I love, like,
fine.
Someone gave me this analogy a long time ago, and I was like, oh, that's so true. It's like a big ship versus like a little small jet ski. Like, they can pivot and move around.
Correct.
You can't move a big ship like a cruise ship. And this US Bank is like that, and local lenders like a jet ski.
Right.
That's
the perfect way to put it.
It's just interesting. I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, local knowledge too goes,
Huge,
who to go, I kind of mentioned it before, but who to go to for what. Just again, that maneuverability that you mentioned.
So important.
Our reputation, you're only as good as your last deal. Exactly. So, if somebody at Bank of America messes up, they're just you're just a number.
Right.
But like I might again see you at church or see you on Fifth Avenue or see you at the market. Like I just we have a reputation to keep up,
Right.
And in town.
Right.
And then we have a personalized approach. I think also I'm available. I like to say 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. So not 24/7, but I do need to
Nicole
sleep.
needs her personal time.
Yeah, this takes a lot.
Okay, family, things like people have
Exactly.
lives.
Right.
Shout out to everyone that expects their realtor to do that too, right? You guys as mortgage and realtors, I think, are the ones that get taken advantage of most about not respecting, phone calls late at night, different things like that. Or, hey, can you write this on a Sunday night? Or, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, that's, we are in a customer service industry. And so you do need to, that's how you stand apart.
Yeah.
So I get that. I honor that. And that's the type of service that I will provide to my clients. So
It's not that you won't do those things. It just, obviously there's.
Yeah, you have to set boundaries.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yes.
So you've been strategizing locally about growing your business during these times. So what do you have kind of in the horizon within the next, let's say, few months, 6 months, a year, those kind of things?
As far as
Growth strategies.
Yep.
Or what you want to do within your business.
So we're doing a monthly get together.
Nice.
At my house with not just realtors, but also financial planners, accountants, title agents, insurance agents, so that, everybody can kind of cross-pollinate. So it's not just for me, it's for the, for the Southwest Florida local professionals. So we can all kind of get together and benefit. And there will be some education, but mostly it's a networking event. I mean, you do it great. You do great parties and
They're a lot bigger.
Yeah,
right?
and you can get everybody together. And I think, there is something to be said to keeping people and listening to other ideas. I've done masterminding in the past, and realtors really appreciate hearing from other folks that have been through that and getting just different, fresh ideas. So we're going to be doing that. We're doing a newsletter on a monthly basis now. One of the things that I think are going to be a big deal is being able to service your old clients that already have purchased a loan. So we're going to focus on our older clients, clientele base, and just trying to relate to them again as rates drop and they've got all this equity in their house. If they want to put a pool in or something, there's going to be the opportunity to do that, debt consolidation. And the other thing is really to be that financial arm to have people add value to not only the end users, the borrowers, but also to my partners, to be that educational source for them to say, okay, what's going on in the market? How, what can you tell me? How can you help me? How can you help my clients? And the other thing is expanding outside of just the realtor base is really, my husband's in insurance is really
plug. Let's give it here. Come on.
Century
Who is it?
Insurance
Century.
Advisors.
Weird.
Yeah.
They've been on here. So
they have. They're a great partner with you as well.
They're awesome. We got the whole family.
We got the whole family. Yeah. Now we just need little Jules up from Tampa.
Whatever she picks in her field, she'll come down, right?
So, but at the end of the day, it's really, again, and I would encourage somebody had said this is, do what you do really well and just pick 3 of them and do them really well.
Can agree. And outsource the other stuff.
Right. Like
find those other partners, find those other things. Like find someone that's good at it because it's going to cost you
at podcasts
so much. It's going to cost you so much more money, time, effort, training, whatever it might be. Find the people and that they're good at. So, all right. We keep saying this family thing. So how is it? How is it working with your daughter?
Well, I keep telling everybody she keeps coming back every day, so I don't know.
Hey, true.
Yeah, so she
you guys haven't killed each other, right?
No,
so
it's been good. Yes. She has deemed it growing pains. So if we,
so she's very optimistic, like you. Then must instill that into her at a young age, right?
Yeah. So she's we call it growing pains. So
there we go.
It's been interesting, but it is great to have somebody that you can think like you and that I can trust. That's invaluable.
Right.
So this is not an easy business for a young person to kind of get into. But I think that she's well positioned for it. So
is she enjoying it? She's having a lot of fun.
She's having a lot of fun. I don't know. You'll have to ask her, but on the next one. But I think so. I think
at the
so.
next event when she's there, I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Like, you having a lot of fun?
Yeah.
She'll look at me like, define fun.
Yeah. They we have had some fun events over the summer and stuff like that. But yeah, I think she's having fun.
Good. So, one of the things instilled into me from my father was, work hard, play hard. From a conversation that we've had off podcast, you talked a lot about, that's one of the reasons why you wanted to come down here. We had mentioned that in your bio about flexibility and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's a huge thing that you instill within your business as well as within your family. So talk a little bit about what work hard, play hard means to you and your family.
Right. I think it's always been kind of a foundational thing is, and that's really, to your point, brought us down to Southwest Florida. We wanted to really have the opportunity to enjoy where we lived every day, not just wait for that 2 weeks of, oh my goodness, yay, and so now when we go out, it's like everybody's on vacation. It's like amazing. And we have this beautiful sunset every night. And so, super passionate about living in Southwest Florida, and having fun. So, but you also need to work hard and earn that. Mm-hmm. And so, just being disciplined. We are in a profession that it's easy not to be disciplined.
Exactly.
It's easy to work from home because you have the flexibility. You don't have to show up physically to an office because everybody's working remotely and everybody had been working remotely. So I think discipline, but also remembering to celebrate the successes, and to enjoy where we live, which is amazing.
Which is paradise.
It is.
I feel like some way or somehow on this podcast every single time, if someone's listening that's not living down here, they're like, can these people shut up? But until they live here, they're not going to understand, because every time we have a podcast, it's just like, it's beautiful down here, or someone comes down, or we talk about that and stuff like that. And it really is. We just have a beautiful area we live. So we're happy about it.
Most of the people here didn't grow up here. Mm-hmm. We made a choice.
A lot of transplants.
Right. We transitioned. Exactly. Like we transitioned here. But I think, to be able to continue to afford it and to be able to continue to enjoy it, you have to work hard.
Yeah. And it's a melting pot of a lot of people, that want to work hard or have worked hard their whole lives and retire and different things like that. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, if you can't believe it, we are actually out of time. So
I can't believe it.
It flew by. I told her that beforehand. So I just want to say thank you again, Nicole, for coming on the podcast on the RP Experience.
Thank you. It was great being here.
Yeah. So as always, RP Experience is extremely thrilled to have you on here. We're here at Venture X in the podcast studio here. Don't forget to subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you.